Before we bill our project with progress billing, we need to update the progress of the project. To update the progress and bill the project, we will navigate to our project from the Projects form. On the Revenue Budget tab, we will now specify the completed percentage of each task. When you enter the completed percentage, the system automatically calculates the pending invoice amount, which is initially equal to the revised budgeted amount multiplied by the completed percentage as shown here. Let's save our project now. On the Form toolbar, we now click Run Project Billing. The system creates a Pro Forma invoice and opens it on the Pro Forma Invoices screen. The Progress Billing tab of the invoice has been filled in with the lines with a non-zero pending invoice amount from the Revenue Budget tab of the Projects form. Notice that all the descriptions of the invoice and the invoice lines have been generated based on the formulas of the billing rule. When we created the Pro Forma invoice, for each row that was added to the invoice, the system moved the pending invoice amount to the Draft Invoice Amount column on the Revenue Budget tab of the Projects form and reset the pending invoice amount to 0. On the Form toolbar of the Pro Forma Invoices form, we can now click Reports and print the Pro Forma invoice. If you have email set up in your system, you can also email the invoice from here. We can now go back to the Pro Forma Invoices form and open the invoice. Let's now clear the Hold checkbox in the Summary area, and on the Form toolbar, we click Release to release the Pro Forma invoice. The system creates the Accounts Receivable invoice based on the Pro Forma invoice and assigns the Closed status to the Pro Forma invoice. On the Financial Details tab, we can now click on the AR References Number box and open the Accounts Receivable invoice that was created. The Document Details tab of the Invoice and Memos form, which the system has opened up in a pop-up window, has a balanced status. We can now click Release to release the Accounts Receivable invoice. On the Projects form, let's now open the Fixed Price project for Art Cage's company project. On the Revenue Budget tab, notice that the draft invoice amount for each row has been moved to the actual amount for the row, as shown here. The system made this change when you released the Accounts Receivable invoice. The system has also updated the income total of the project, with the amount of the Accounts Receivable invoice as shown here. We have now built the project with the Progress Billing rule.